Hello and welcome to our cabin tour and review. We are on Arvia and this is cabin 12743 at the very aft of the ship, so we'll show you those fantastic features a bit later on. So I've used the cruise card to get into the cabin, nice and simple, and then what you have for the door is a magnetic plaque which lets the steward know whether you're out exploring, so you can make up the room, or you're taking it easy, don't disturb me. So it's really handy to put that on the door. There's an adjustable thermostat on the wall and it can go as cold or as warm as you need. I have to say, one thing is, if you do leave the balcony door open and we're in a hot climate, then the air conditioning does go off. So if you want to keep the room cool, you do need to close the balcony door. Then you have some fixed hooks which are really handy for your coats and for dressing gowns. Now these did not come with a cabin. We bought a Bon Voyage package which included dressing gowns which we can take home. We'll talk about the package another time, but these hooks are really handy. The bathrooms on Arvia and indeed Iona we think are perhaps the best we've experienced for size-wise. They're really nice and big and good layout. So you have a decent shower cubicle with a door, this time no curtain, and you can push it and pull it so you can get in and out whichever way you choose. The toiletries are from the White company and they're called Flowers, so you do get included shampoo and shower gel, but you can ask your cabin steward for conditioner and body lotion and they'll bring it a bottle to you, so it's absolutely fine. There's ample storage with shelves at the top here and indeed shelves below as well. One thing we like about P&O is that they won't necessarily change your towels every day, so it's obviously better for the environment. So if you want your towels changed, you put them into the shower, otherwise they'll just fold them up and put them back on the racks. That's really good to know. We don't change our towels every day at home, so why would we on a cruise? Right, one really handy feature in the room is at night time, where there's a night light in the room itself. So if I turn the main light off, then it just leaves a gentle glow in the room. So if you need to use the bathroom in the night, you're not going to disturb anyone by turning the lights on and making them really bright. So it's on all the time. We've got in the habit of taking wall magnets with us on cruises because the walls are all magnetic, so it's really handy for storage. So we put bits of paper such as the horizon, any shore excursion details. We store hats, bags, anything that's quite lightweight. So it's really handy to keep things out of the way. Now the cabin layout on Arvia and indeed Iona will have either the bed by the window or by the wardrobe. Now we've experienced both and we certainly prefer when the bed is near the window because you've got a lovely view outside, and it means when the sofa bed is here you've got a good length of mirror to look at, whereas when the bed was here you could really only see the top half in the mirror, so that was a bit of a pain. Now the wardrobe itself we find is also not very long. So if you've got any long dresses, ladies, you may prefer to hang them on the permanent or the temporary hooks on the walls here. And the hangers come with a lot of wooden hangers, but you can ask for more and they're metal hangers that they'll bring along for you, not a problem. Now the next wardrobe along has shelves, so there's no drawers on Arvia and indeed Iona. So we tend to use packing cases, so that's nice and easy then for keeping all our clothes together and in some sort of organised order. The end cupboard is hanging space, not quite so deep, but it also has a safe, which is handy for your passport, valuables. It wouldn't be big enough for a laptop. And there's a hairdryer at the top, which is plugged in over the other side. I'll show you that in a moment. On this side of the room, you have a really nice big desk and chair and a lovely big mirror for getting, doing your makeup in. There are some shelves here. Now at first we thought, they're not very good, they're not very deep, they're not really very helpful and handy, but they have been actually. There's nice little things we've been able to put here and keep them out of the way. The plug sockets are all UK, so that's nice for us Brits, but we do bring along a cube for extra USB devices, so you can charge multiple things at the one time, so that's really handy. And this is where the kettle is over this side, and that's where you plug the hairdryer in. It's just a 2-pin socket because that's the hairdryer. It's the only place you can turn it on in the cabin. Alongside the kettle you have some tea and coffee making facilities. So the mugs themselves are really nice and deep. They're not the tiny little espresso type, so you get a nice decent cup. And then you have a selection of teas and coffees, and there's UHT milk, but you can bring your own milk and use it in the cooler down below. We also find that we get some of the herbal teas from the buffet and bring them back down in here and have a drink in the evening. In this cupboard we have a cooler. I don't call it a fridge, but it's more of a cooler. It's empty when you arrive, so you can just put in the drinks that you're allowed to bring along as part of your allowance, or anything, any milk or bits and pieces that you might get from the buffet, any ice for your bubbly later on. So next to the cooler, you have a little cupboard for storage of little knickknacks, I would call it. It's not particularly deep, but you usually find some bits that you can hide out of the way in there. And then an even smaller one on this side. Very, very narrow, but again, I've just got glasses case, my fan, a few bits and pieces just to hide away, keep them nice and neat. Now on this wall here, you have a really big TV screen. It's actually a really big smart TV, and it does pull out so that when you're in bed, you can have it facing towards you. So the TV is really actually helpful. They have lots of useful channels about the ship and all the things going on board. You can see your onboard account. You can see a live cam of the front of the ship, so you get an idea of the weather, what you're going into approaching. It also has the route that we've taken. It has some live TV, including some sports channels, news channels, and there's some free on-demand movies. So it's pretty good, I have to say. Now, this is an actual sofa bed. So this is a 3-person cabin. So this can be converted into a bed at night time by your cabin steward if you need to. So the bed can be set up as either a double or twin. You can do that on your personaliser before you actually come on the cruise, or if it's not set for you, then the cabin steward can rearrange it for you. Underneath, plenty of storage for your suitcase, lots and lots of room. And then beside the bed, I have to say this isn't great P&O on your new ships. You have these little 3 shelves here. They're not proper drawers, not much room to put anything on. That's your bedside tables really, and you've got one on each side. Now there's a light above the bed which also has a reading light, which is handy, and there's a little hidden USB charging point here, so that's pretty good. Socket wise, there's only a socket on one side of the bed, so if you're on that side you just have the option of the USB and under the light here. So this is a balcony cabin right at the aft of the ship. Now just to say, with the balcony cabins here, you can lock them, so if you have children in your cabin and you're worried about children, I mean the doors are heavy to unlock, but I've got an additional lock high up here so children can't fiddle with it. So the balcony itself overlooks the sunset bar, so we're on deck 12 and the sunset bar is on deck 8. We can still have a fantastic view over the wake of the ship, so it's absolutely fantastic. One thing to note about this balcony, so as I said we're on deck 12, is that on deck 16 you have the infinity pool with the water that can splash over the edge. So we'll tell you about our views on that at the end here, but it's just something to bear in mind.
Okay, so there you have it. That is the review of the cabin. My thoughts are, I have to say, I really do like this cabin. I like the cabins on Iona and I like the cabins on Arvia. The bed is lovely and comfortable. Probably the best bathroom of any cabin, Celebrity Princess, that we've encountered, that's for sure. They're certainly nice and roomy, and they've got lots of nice storage in them as well. There is, however, an elephant in the room, or rather outside the room, and that's the balcony and its positioning. Now, you do a lot of research, don't you? There was a lot of chatter as to whether or not, you know, that this was the right cabin to have because it was getting splashed from the infinity pool. What are your thoughts on that, quickly?
Well, I think it does vary. I think it depends on who's on the trip itself, and if there's a lot of people, perhaps a lot of children, they can get a little bit carried away, a little bit excited, and then more water comes over the edge. Now, we didn't feel that this cruise that would be a problem. And it hasn't been on the whole, but there have been occasions when water has come out suddenly on top of us. Now, it's been a bit refreshing when it's been hot, but I have to say it has marred the experience.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a complete showstopper, but you need to be mindful that even if people aren't in the pool, that depending on the sea and how rough it is, you will get splashes coming over the edge. And I would suggest that the balcony below gets it worse than this current balcony. So there you have it. That's the cabin review. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more content, more about this trip over to the Caribbean. But until then,
stay curious.